Hey, we'll see how this works today. Let's hope the Dishy McFlatface will bless us with a solid connection. Welcome back to Tailosive Tech Live on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. I normally would have streamed Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I missed Thursday because I was working with my dad promoting his book on the Tailosive Talks podcast, so check that out if you want to be more in the loop of my dad's life as well as mine. I mentioned throughout that book, but it's out now. Anyway, that's enough promotion. This was an idea that I received over on Twitter, which I want to actively encourage because, yes, of course, we are in a tech news drought, and I do think that the tech news drought is going to be pretty typical in years next. Like, obviously, similar to the movie theater industry, there's going to be big events that go on, things like iPhone season, MacBook season. So I feel like the floods are coming. We're about to have a monsoon of news in September, October, November. But when it comes to all the months in between Apple events, it's going to get stale. It's going to get boring. So any suggestions are appreciated. I work very, very hard to find subjects that I find interesting that hopefully you guys will too. But I see lots of people in Discord, Twitter, or of course just in YouTube comment sections that love to tell you what shouldn't be video ideas. This doesn't need to be talked about. This doesn't need to be a subject. This doesn't. That's really easy. I can go through YouTube and look at all kinds of subjects I'm not interested in and say, I don't care about that. I don't care about that. I don't care. That's really easy. What's hard is actually coming up with ideas that people find captivating or interesting. So this goes out to Mike Sparks, who was hoping for me to do a video talking about what the price would be to enter Apple's ecosystem and kind of what the best bang for your buck would be if someone was completely outside and was kind of fed up with Google or Samsung or whatever and wanted to embrace themselves and find where the best value would be. And the more I thought about doing this video, the more I realized I think it makes more sense to do it as a live stream. I think that this would be more fun to do with the audience interactively. That way we can kind of dictate the complications of the ecosystem, which are, you know, which Apple products do you require mandatory to be in the ecosystem versus which ones are just supplemental, which ones can we just throw in for fun, that we say, yes, the ecosystem is better if you have this product, but it's not necessarily a mandatory thing. But of course, I'll be interacting with the chat along the way as well. Haken says, I work at Apple Tech Support. I help people reset their passwords. I had an elderly call in confused how he was supposed to use his Magic Mouse because the wire was coming out from the bottom. Oh, no. I can't believe they're still doing that. And it's ridiculous it's still that way. But, man, there's so many. I've heard so many tech support stories from Apple people that are just saying, you know, I forgot my password. I forgot this. I forgot that. It's like the most common. I really think that we should start falling back on biometrics for password resets. I'm kind of surprised Apple doesn't support that yet. I don't think the iPhone 13 will receive a price increase if the 12 with 5G and in the middle of the pandemic didn't raise prices. I don't see the 13 raising prices. Well, it may have not impacted them directly with the 12, but technically it did raise prices. I don't know why Jim Jam, John, you're assuming that the 12 with 5G didn't. The iPhone 12 was technically $130 more than the iPhone 11. The Pros did not get more expensive, but the 12s did. So just like it did last year, I would say that the regular iPhones maybe not get price increases this year, but I could see the Pros getting up because they're going to be rocking the ProRes support, the upgraded cameras, the 120 hertz refresh rate. There's a bunch of stuff that I could see justifying. Plus, most of the people I know that are excited for the Pro iPhones would not be stunted by an extra $100. I could be wrong. Maybe there's some of you out there, but from what I've seen, most of the people that were in the market for a 13 Pro or 13 Pro Max, if they found out they had to spend an extra $100 on the model they wanted, they're still going to get it. They're going to be like, oh, that sucks. Anyway. Buy now. You know, the 1 terabyte iPhone, people are going to spend $2,000 on that. When was the last time they were right? Digitimes, I meme on them, but they have been right most of the time. Their accuracy rating, I believe, is over 60%. But I'm going to do the screen share thing in a second here. I'm just making sure the chat knows I'm listening. This is not pre-recorded. Not everyone wants to Hackintosh and has the skill to do that, though, and it takes some time to make everything work. Yeah, I've done a Hackin products, which is that it's simple and you just take it out of the box and it works, and, you know, you get years and years of support. Hackintosh kind of takes away all of the main pros, in my opinion, of buying a Mac, which is that it's simple, it's easy to understand. Um, sorry for Starlink. It's freaking out on. Maybe I need to pause this stream. Okay. Sorry, Starlink is still in beta, and it's smoky today. Rockford Media, thank you for the super chat. Hello, Drew. Happy Saturday. Going with the 13 mini because I have the 12.9-inch iPad Pro wherever I go, so there's no need for me to have a larger screen, and I have a battery pack with me. Can't wait. Okay, cool. That works. That battery life should be pretty good then. If you've got an upgraded phone with the A15 chip, that should improve battery life, plus the physically larger battery, then plus the battery pack. Sounds like a win in my book. You just got to keep using that lightning cable. Mike asked if I think Apple will make a translucent phone someday. I don't think they like the translucence thing. I know there's some people that are into that, like the old Game Boy approach of like seeing all the electronics on the inside. I think that Apple is more so the type of company that wants to hide all of the technology. They don't really like showcasing it. Well, I guess in the old days with like the old bubble iMacs, you could kind of see in the back, but you notice they don't do that anymore. They borrowed the colors from the 90s iMacs, and they're like, ooh, look at all these colorful Macs, but they don't want you knowing that there's a circuit board and electronics on the inside. I think they just want it to be just an object that magically works, and you don't even think of it as technology. You just kind of think of it as an extension as yourself. At least that's how Steve Jobs viewed it. Digitimes is 60% legit rate, 50% is coin toss. So it's slightly better than a coin toss, but the main reason I'm highlighting Digitimes' report about the price going up, Eunuch, thank you for becoming a YouTube supporter. Appreciate that. Wow, we got so many people becoming supporters. That's much cheaper than super chatting, by the way. That's $2 a month, and your name sticks out in the chat a lot easier. The only reason I'm highlighting Digitimes' report is that even if a unreliable leaker, even if Digitimes' accuracy rating was 40 or 30%, I would still want to bring that report up because I think it's better for us to go in with lowered expectations and anticipating that the price will be much higher than it actually ends up being, because you're almost never going to be sorry you assumed the price would be higher, especially if it's a difference of $100. So if we go into September and we go into iPhone season assuming these iPhones are, the 13 Pro is probably going to be $1,100 and the 13 Pro Max is probably going to be $1,200, and then we're wrong, then great. Now you've overestimated how much the cost is going to be, and so it actually ends up being cheaper, and you can use that money towards extra storage. And if it ends up being true, then we were right. Okay, we were prepared for it. I would just rather not people go in to iPhone season assuming it was going to be cheaper, and then it turns out being more. Because, I know a lot of you guys are budgeting and saving up money. You want to know exactly how much this is going to cost, how much can I spend, how much should I not spend. I would just say it's safe to assume it's probably going to be higher than you think. And then if you're wrong, great. That's wonderful. I'd love to be wrong on that particular subject. So anyway, anyone will pay anything for an iPhone if they only put the price up on the Pro $100 a year. Yeah, I think with all the exciting upgrades the Pros have going for them, it's not going to be the end of the world if they're $100 more. I'd be fine with that personally. I'd be like, okay, still getting the Pro Max, $1,200 sold. It's a smaller and smaller percentage of the phone at that point. If you add $100 to the 13 Pro, that's a 10% price increase. It's a little noticeable, but I don't think it's the end of the world. I love my big things big and small things small. I know my phone can never be as big as my iPad. Yeah, that's fair. I'm actually really interested in the iPad Mini 6 though, because I'm starting to get a tad frustrated with the size of my 12.9-inch iPad Pro, but I really do want 120 hertz, so that's kind of a deal breaker for me. Samsung reduced the price of the Z Fold 3, not going to buy excuses of chip shortages for an iPhone increase. Well, Samsung is a different manufacturer. TSMC manufacturer. Well, Z Fold 3 took out the charge brick. They didn't upgrade the cameras, and they don't include as much as they used to. They lowered the battery life too, so Samsung, I don't know exactly how profitable they are with the foldables, but I don't think it actually has anything to do with the chip shortage. I think it has more to do with inflation. Everybody has more money than they do because, the U.S. dollar is being printed at a higher rate and there's stimulus checks and a lot of money coming out. So the value of the dollar has definitely tanked. The prices of everything is going up, which is why I'm not shocked that an iPhone price would go up either. $1,000 now is not what $1,000 was a couple years ago. Will the iPad mini get the A14 or 15? The rumors sound a little confusing. A14 makes more sense because Air 4 is unlikely to be updated this year. Yeah, I'm going to guess A15, I think makes more sense to me. But anyway, let's get ready to rumble, gents. We got 10 minutes of chat reading. Let's focus on what really matters now. We got to build ourselves an ecosystem. All right, I got the chat on my iPad, so I could still see you guys, but we got to start with the iPhone. I think if we're building an ecosystem from the ground up, let's start with Mike Sparks' original comment of, like, what's the best bang for your buck? So there can be several different combinations we may experiment with here on the live stream, but I want to first... I was testing this earlier. I was adding random things to my bag. Hold up. Let me make sure I clear out the bag. Yes, I'm going to use the Apple website bag method so that we can see what the total is. Yes, I know how to do math. I can do addition, but I still want to just see the total. It would save time getting the stupid calculator out, which my iPad doesn't have. Let's just try to see what the cheapest Apple ecosystem we can come up with is. I think that might be interesting. Think Apple will ever make a gaming-friendly computer, asks Mike. They've shown the M1 chip is powerful, but they still need improvements on the game. Apple has had all kinds of great GPUs and CPUs. It's never been a problem with performance. Like, my iMac Pro had a better GPU than most consoles did. It's always a software issue. That's why Apple doesn't have gaming-oriented stuff, is because they run Mac OS. So if you wanted something to be more gaming-focused, I guess you would just put a bigger emphasis on graphics, but at the end of the day, the software is the problem. So we don't care what color it is. Let's get 64 gigs. We don't have one to trade in. We're going to do a one-time payment. This is the cheapest iPhone we can grab, so let's grab that. I think that's, in my opinion, the core of every ecosystem for Apple is probably the iPhone. That's where it all starts. I think everything kind of blossoms apart from that. And I would argue that the first thing you should get after an iPhone, some might say AirPods, but I think I'm going to go ahead and say Apple Watch, because the AirPods you just use when you're listening to music or watching videos in public and you don't want the speakers going off, or maybe you just prefer headphones. But I agree those are important, but the watch, I think, really streamlines the whole ecosystem of being able to ping your phone and being able to read notifications and the activity management and that type of thing. So this is not the only ecosystem we're building. I'll probably build a couple today, but I just want to see how cheap we can get it. And I refuse to put the Apple Watch Series 3 in. I know we're going for affordability, but I will not recommend the Series 3 ever at this point in time. I mean, I'll recommend it back when it was brand new, but we're not there yet. So I want to see how cheap we can get an SE. 40 millimeters good. We don't need cellular. So what does you want? Band size? Will you let me add it? Jeez. Oh, it's sold out. You can pick it up, but they won't deliver this combo to you. Okay, so that's about as cheap as the SE gets. It's $280. Let's see. I have understood the 12 Pros to get more expensive because of a big design change in 5G, but I feel like Apple knows if they raise the prices this year on an S year, it wouldn't do well. Yeah, I don't think they're raising prices on every iPhone. I'm just saying it's safe to assume it'll be higher. Assume it is worse, and then hope for the best. If it ends up being wrong, then great, you accounted for more. But I think the 13 and 13 mini will be the same price, but the Pros are getting all of the upgrades. There's not much changes going on with the entry-level iPhones. It's like the cameras are diagonal now. Yeah, that would not get a price increase. But 120 hertz, upgraded camera sensors for the ultra-wide, ProRes video support, video bokeh. There's a bunch of changes coming there. I could see a price coming, especially just because of inflation overall. There's been the value of the dollar has tanked a lot. macOS with improved gaming performance is definitely will keep me around longer. Mike, I think what's more important is the games. It doesn't matter if it had the best GPU in the world. If it doesn't run the games you're interested in, it's not going to matter. That's what sells a console. There's a little side tangent here because we've had this conversation on the channel before, but I don't know who was around for it. What sells consoles, what moves gaming hardware is the games on them. People will buy the Xbox for Halo. People will buy the PlayStation for Spider-Man or whatever exclusive Sony has going for it over there. And people bought the Nintendo Switch because it has a bunch of Nintendo games people want. The GPU on the Switch is not that good. It barely runs games at 60 frames a second, and it barely runs them at 720p, but that doesn't matter. It's not about the graphics performance. It's not about the hardware. It's about the games that people enjoy on them. So until Apple can get some exclusive game titles or games that people really, really enjoy that they want to play on Apple hardware, the rest will fall into place. It doesn't matter if the OS is optimized for gaming much. It doesn't even matter if the GPU is all that good. If you make a game that people want on a platform, they will buy into that platform. It doesn't have to be about, does Apple make gaming hard? It's like there's no games. People don't want to play the our Apple Arcade kind of sucks. There's not a lot of games people would want to play on a Mac anyway. They're all optimized for mobile. If there's not a blue one, then get a refurbished blue Series 6, I guess. My goodness. Sorry for the lag. Starlink's trying to remain connected. Alpha, thank you for the super chat. We need a 16-inch MacBook Air. I don't think we need one, but I agree it would be nice. Okay, we've got iPhone SE, Apple Watch SE. I think AirPods would be next as we're working with our wearables slash ecosystem of products we take around with us. I think that's probably where you want to start with the ecosystem. Let's see. If improved gaming software support with xCloud can happen, well, that has nothing to do with the GPU and everything to do with your internet connection. You could run xCloud on a freaking Apple Watch if it had a good enough modem in it. It doesn't need a GPU for xCloud. Oh man, I'm gonna try to say this name. Crit Pitugrachi. Thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. I got the Nintendo Switch primarily to play Super Mario Odyssey. Exactly. The Switch GPU is crap. Like a 2-year-old iPhone can probably outperform a Switch in terms of graphics, but that doesn't make it a better gaming device. It all comes down to the games. So yeah, I do like wireless charging, but I guess if we're going for basics, these standard AirPods are fine. I switched to AirPods 2 yesterday because I used my AirPods Pro for the podcast, and then they died, so I just switched them out. And these actually still sound really, really good. I appreciate being able to wirelessly charge with them, but simultaneously, it does charge very, very slow, and it doesn't really support the magnets of MagSafe. So using Lightning is probably standard. People have the iPhone SE coming with Lightning anyway. So what are we at? Okay, we've got our little mobile ecosystem going. We're at under $1,000 for a micro Apple ecosystem here. I think this combo works really, really well because, you can control the music, control your audio levels with the digital crown. You're getting Apple Pay with the watch. You're getting a good-looking watch with the thin bezels. You're getting decent-sounding audio with the AirPods for $160. I was really tempted to go certified refurbished, but I felt like that would be somewhat cheating. So, This is probably like if your budget for your ecosystem is sub $1,000 and you want to get into Apple, this is probably a decent place to start. You have $85 of wiggle room here, so you might be able to find a good certified refurbished iPhone XR or iPhone 11, where you could still have the price under $1,000. That would probably, of these three things, that would be the first thing I would consider upgrading because the SE is pretty dated in design. It's a good phone if you're just going for the basics, but yeah, I think we'll start with this, and then let's say the budget is comfortable going over $1,000. So next, after these, I think for just straight up value, best bang for your buck, I'm going to go with the iPads because this gives you a much larger display. If you're living with the iPhone SE, you've got a pretty tiny display. And the Macs obviously are a big part of the ecosystem, but they're just not super duper affordable. Especially if you're starting from scratch, whereas these are technically, all-in-ones. You can buy them and box them straight out of the straight away, and you have a whole product. You don't have to supply any additional hardware, and it's $330. It's rocking the A12 chip, which is pretty fast, and I believe it comes with a fast charger. So this comes with a USB-C to Lightning cable that fast charger you can use on your iPhone SE, kill that battery health as quickly as possible. And you can, of course, use the extra Lightning cable that your SE came with for your AirPods and that type of thing. I guess you're still going to need a 5-watt brick for the Apple Watch, huh? Because that doesn't come with it. I guess you better hope you have a USB-A brick around, assuming someone's switching from Android. But there's just tremendous value with a $300, 10.2-inch iPad. With an A12 chip, it's probably going to get software support for quite some time. So that would be my next move is iPad. I guess another good value one. See, when I'm thinking of Mac, I'm thinking like best bang for your buck is probably the M1 MacBook Air. But that's $1,000, and we probably just with our current ecosystem of iPad, AirPods, Apple Watch, iPhone, already that's like tipping $1,000. And if you throw in a MacBook Air, that's just an additional $1,000 on the top. So the Mac, I would say, if you're building your ecosystem from the ground up, should probably be the last thing you think about. Do you really need a Mac? Do you use software? Do you have an application for the Mac that you're going to be using it for work or for like if you're just trying to think of, I want to buy something that's part of the ecosystem, but all you really need a bigger display for is content, you just media entertainment and just watching YouTube, listening to music, that type of thing, I wouldn't jump straight to the Mac with. I would probably say, why don't we start looking at better iPads? Like the iPad Air is probably going to be a much better value than the MacBook Air if you don't need Mac OS. Again, if you need it for work or video editing software or that type of thing, then I guess that, we got to talk Macs, and the MacBook Air would be my go-to. Mac Mini, I would, of course, recommend in the instance that this person that I'm recommending the ecosystem for already has a keyboard and mouse and a monitor, and you just want a Mac, then yes, absolutely. Mac Mini's tremendous value, super duper affordable, and the M1 chip is super duper fast. So for any type of computational stuff you want to do, or if you just need a computer that you want to sit down and use that's not too small like an iPad, then Mac Mini's great, assuming you have all this additional hardware. But kind of the purpose of this exercise is to kind of figure out what it would cost from the ground up. So I think I'll come back to the Mac in a second. I actually think what might be a really good value if someone's trying to get a tad more into the smart home is the HomePod Mini, because this has amazing sound quality, in my opinion. I did finally get to check it out recently, and I thought it sounded wonderful, and the price is actually not terrible like it was on the original HomePod. This is $100, and you get good sound. You can AirPlay to it, and you get the little handoff feature, which I think is a great showcase of ecosystem advantages. That's not something you're going to be able to easily do with Bluetooth speakers or other smart speakers. They're not going to work as well with your iPhone. So that would be a good choice in my opinion. Space gray, silver, space gray or white, doesn't really matter. My iPods never came with one. Yeah, iPods didn't come with charge bricks. No one cared. It's just iPhones did for a long time. I wish the Mac Mini came with a mouse and keyboard. Well, you can make it. It'll just cost more. Mac Pro, the only way to go. Best bang for your buck, $50,000. Get the wheels too. Is your address showing in the basket? No, I did a safe check. I'm not even signed into my Apple account on here, and the zip code I've provided is not my zip code. So you could say that that's not where I am. I just put in a template code because I know I'm live streaming, so I don't want anything revealed. But yeah. I'll add this to the bag just because I think if we're going for best bang for your buck, that's a good place to start. It's another pivotal piece in the ecosystem that's separate. This is more of a stationary product, but it just doesn't cost very much. I think that's why I'm throwing it in. Whereas the Mac is going to be a big jump. Another one that I think works really well with the ecosystem, if we're on the subject of smart homes. Great, I'm going to get copyright claim just for the C artwork. This does not include the TV. So I guess that does require some additional hardware, but I love the Siri remote. I do think that the value is not as good here. So I'd highly recommend going certified refurbished if you could, but I just fundamentally cannot recommend a 1080p Apple TV. You might save, $30 by going with that one, but come on. If we're talking about 2021, you need the 4K. I don't think the A12 chip matters as much, but not getting a TV that supports a 4K output is just ridiculous at this late in 2021. So I would say Apple, tvOS is good. This is definitely more on the pricey side. I wouldn't say this is best bang for your buck, but if we're talking best bang within the ecosystem, this is practically your only option. And you do have to get an HDMI cable if you don't have one. I don't think people entering the ecosystem needs a TV. Well, no, that's kind of the whole issue with this debate, because Mike Sparks was asking, like, what's the best bang for your buck entering the ecosystem? And the next question I have for that is, what do you deem as required for entering the ecosystem? Technically, we could just say the iPhone is enough. Like, is that your ecosystem? Or could you say, no, in order for it to be a collective, products working together, you need more than one. At that point, we could say iPhone, Apple Watch. Done. Okay. We have a very tiny ecosystem. So then the discussion comes down to what exactly you need. So that's why I kind of stopped with the mobile ecosystem of AirPods, Watch, and iPhone. I think that's a good start. But if we're expanding beyond that, a Mac is a big jump. You're making the jump from, okay, you spend $1,000 on your ecosystem to $2,000 really, really quick. So if we're trying to keep it within our budget and not shoot past $2,000 instantly, this is probably where I'd start. So we start with the smart home stuff and the cheaper end of things, and you're getting the SharePlay, you're getting the AirPlay functionality, and you're getting a really nice Siri remote that, the photos work. If you care about Apple services, this integrates each other. So if we added those to the ecosystem, okay, just a little over $1,200. So obviously what you want to get into with your ecosystem, if your budget is $1,300 or around $1,200, this is, I think, a decent start. You've got Apple Music here. You're probably going to get free TV Plus for a long time here. So this is a pretty decent start, I'd say, with staying within a budget. That's the price of that's less than a MacBook Pro right there. You've spent less than the price of one Mac, and you've got an iPhone, an Apple Watch, AirPods, a HomePod, and an Apple TV. I'd say that's a pretty dang decent ecosystem. If the reason I don't throw the Mac in immediately is just because it's very dependent on what the person is planning on doing. And I think that, did I not grab the iPad? I thought I did. That's what I'm missing. I guess the iPad's pretty crucial. Some people were saying in the chat, I guess I didn't hit the add to bag button. Oh yeah, here we go. Review bag now. What does that bring us to? 1583. Okay, so definitely a bit higher. If you're just looking for a larger display than your iPhone, which, of course, if you're buying an iPhone SE, the display is pretty small. Battery life's not so great. So you want something that, like, you have a bigger option to go with if need be. If I don't personally recommend the Apple TV, but if we're just trying to drench ourselves in the ecosystem, that's a cheaper way to do it than, just the cheapest possible iPad adds over $300 to everything. So that's a much bigger jump than a $180 streaming box. Imagine what the price of everything Apple offers combined. I think I did that once. It was a long time ago. If you're going to, things like HomePod Mini are going to count the cost of subscriptions. I know they're smaller, but they can add up. Well, I think Mike Sparks was primarily talking about the entry price. I don't think he was talking about the monthly cost. If we go into memberships, it very quickly turns into, what does this cost you over time? And you can debate all day whether or not you want to get more iCloud, or, if you have the HomePod Mini, you're probably getting Apple Music, so that's $10 a month or less if you do annual. But yeah, that gets too messy, so I think I'll just focus on the upfront cost primarily. And like I said earlier, if we're going with like all-in-one products, the MacBook Air, that's providing you keyboard, trackpad, battery, display. You've got it all right there. And I think the M1 chip, of course, is insanely good. So there's a great bang for your buck. I agree. But this is assuming that they need a MacBook for a particular reason. If it's just for media consumption, I would just say go with a higher-end iPad. But this is assuming you need Mac OS for some particular reason, software or whatever. You need iPad with 128 gigs? I disagree. I've been using my iPad Pro for 3 years, and I do photo editing on it. All of my video thumbnails are made on my iPad, and I've still yet to fill up 64 gigs. I think I've yet to fill up 32 gigs, to be honest with you. I guess it depends on what types of games you're getting. But this iPad comes with a 20-watt fast charger. So you can use that on the iPad. You can also use it on the iPhone. I guess you can get an additional charger if you want. You can get the brick. That'll just add $20 to this. But yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about, the noticeable jump. As soon as I add a Mac, right, like assuming they don't have a keyboard and monitor and mouse that they could hook up to the Mac Mini, and we just go with the cheapest possible all-in-one technically, which is $1,000. with the M1 MacBook Air, which I love and I think the performance is great on, that still jumps the ecosystem now. Even though we got the cheapest iPhone, the lowest end SE, the lowest end AirPods, just a HomePod Mini, fairly mid-tier Apple TV, suddenly the price of the ecosystem jumps to about $2,700. So that's a big leap in my opinion. Before we were like, okay, so if your budget's $1,200, you can get this much. If it's $1,600, you can throw in an iPad here and there. But man, like that's just a very sudden jump. Basically, the MacBook Air can buy you an entire ecosystem if you don't desperately need a MacBook. So that's why I was hesitant to add a MacBook to everything. But I do think this is a fairly solid ecosystem now. You've pretty much got a player in every category. You've got the watch, you've got the phone, you've got decent headphones, you got a smart speaker, your TV's hooked up through Apple, you've got an iPad. Yeah, I mean, this pretty much covers it, other than, apply for the Apple Card to get 3% back on all this stuff, and the Apple Card is free. Can you actually, that's a good question. Can you apply for the Apple Card without an iPhone? I don't think you can. I think you can only get it through the Wallet app. So if you don't have any Apple products and you're just full in on Android, and you're like, I want to get the Apple Card, is there a way to do that? Oh, I guess we didn't get AirTag, huh? That's an extra $30. So that would tip us over $2,700 as well. But it is kind of interesting to know that you can fully immerse yourself in the ecosystem for less than $3,000. I know that sounds like a lot, but also I think the value here is really, really nice. You have an iPad that can act as an external monitor with your MacBook Air. This iPad comes with the iPad, and I believe the iPhone does as well. These both come with USB-C to Lightning cables, so you could use that iPad as a. Did I say iPad Air? I just meant the 10.2-inch iPad you can use as an external monitor with Sidecar with your MacBook Air. So there's something in the ecosystem. You can do some light photo editing with the iPad. I guess you could opt for an Apple Pencil. You've got a couple $100 before you hit that. You have a MacBook, so you probably don't need a keyboard case. But if you want to get an extra Apple Pencil for $100, you're still going to be under $3,000. And you can do some artwork on that, airdrop it to the Mac, take some really good videos, really good pictures with the iPhone SE, $400, airdrop that to the Mac. And if you lose your iPhone SE, you can ping it with your Apple Watch. You can do activity tracking on there. You can control your AirPods volume from the Apple Watch. And you can hand off music when you get home to your HomePod, or cast content or games on the Apple TV as well. A very, very intuitive remote that I think is really simple and really easy to navigate. So yeah, you throw in the AirTag, you're still looking at about, this includes tax, by the way. This is adding the California recycling fee as well as estimated tax. So if you're talking about just getting every piece of the ecosystem, every category Apple is in, buying into that essentially, you can do it all pretty much under $3,000. And if you don't need every category, just removing the Mac, I think saves a ton of money. Assuming someone has an external monitor and a keyboard and mouse, and you opt this for a Mac Mini, you can save $300 right off the bat there. So that'll definitely knock it down closer to $2,000. Not as bad as I think people would assume, to know that you could basically be in every aspect of the ecosystem for under $3,000. That costs a lot more than many people's computers. And you're coming up on the cost of what it costs to get a Galaxy Z Fold. It's at $1,800 right there. We can make quite a package, I think. With $1,800, yeah, just slap that out. This is less than the Galaxy Z Fold 3, which doesn't come with the charger either, and it has a worse battery life. Granted, it's a foldable, so you can combine all this together, but you can get an iPhone, watch, AirPods, HomePod, Apple TV, and an iPad for less money than one foldable, which is kind of interesting. Let's see. I'd remove the HomePod Mini and Apple TV for a better iPhone, since the iPhone is a central part of the ecosystem. Of course, if you don't care as much for the smart home stuff, you don't care as much for stationary things, we could opt for a much better iPhone. You can kind of pick and choose. SE is definitely dated, but I don't think it'll stop getting software updates that quickly. That's why I was comfortable having it. Apple Watch Series 3, I actually do think will stop getting software updates in a quick amount of time, which is why I'm not adding this to the list. But Apple Watch SE, I do think will last quite some time, and the value's pretty good. So If we're doing iPad, AirPods, and watch, that's already $840. Other iPhones do kind of add to the overall price. I would actually, to be honest, if someone's on a budget and they just want something that is better than the SE, I think I would recommend the 10R before the 11. Unless there's some type of really specific photography feature you want, like night mode or the ultra-wide camera. People forget, like, the display on this is identical to the 11. It's the exact same Liquid Retina display. And it's the exact same version of Face ID. You can still take portrait mode shots with the rear-facing camera. The battery life is still good. You don't get the centered Apple logo. That might throw people off. But you save $100, and you just don't get the really good low-light photography. But I don't know if that many people care. Some people do, I'm sure, but $500, we're only talking $100 more, and you have an iPhone that's still gesture control and has the latest biometric and all that. That's not a big stretch more. iPhone 11 is actually not that much different from 12 for most people. You can save this way. Yeah, I think if people don't care too much about night mode or ultra-wide shots, which, frankly, most of the people I talk to with smartphones do not. It's like, if it's dark, I'll use the flash, or I just won't take as many pictures, you know. Save yourself some money. That's still under $1,400 to have a, you know, modern-looking iPhone. It doesn't have OLED, but it's still a 6.1-inch display. Z Flip 3 is also a 2-in-1. It's a phone and a pocket watch. Oh, come on. All phones are pocket watches in that mindset. iPad and MacBook would like to disagree. My grandma believed the AirTags were made for the government to track us when I told her about it, and yet she has a tile. Anything with an internet connection can be used to track you, especially by the government. So, yeah, they don't. Actually, the government could track you with an iPhone much easier than an AirTag. AirTag doesn't have a GPS or a internet modem inside of it, whereas iPhones do. So, yeah, don't worry. If you're worried about future products being used to spy on us, they already do. They've been spying on us for years. It's all over. It took iPhone too long for centered logo. iPad and MacBook already have it since the beginning. We say that now, but people were freaking out when that rumor came around. There was talk that the iPhone 11 was going to move the logo to the center and not have the iPhone text on the back. Everyone was flipping out. Everyone was acting like, this is going to look terrible. I hate it. It's atrocious. And I remember doing a video saying, like, the centered logo is fine. It makes it more consistent with the ecosystem. And people did not agree. Oh, my God. People were angry. It blew everyone's mind that Apple was considering removing the iPhone text. I think it looks much better, personally. You won't need keyboard for this iPad in the setup. Just use universal control when it comes out. That's true. If you have a MacBook, you'd be able to control that. But, yeah, if we're not talking Mac and you just want a higher-end iPhone, the fact that you can do that for under $1,400, a lot of people are going to spend more than that on one iPhone this year. That's pretty a tremendous value, in my opinion, to get that much of the ecosystem all put together. So I like this one too, because that's probably my biggest issue with the SE, is just that it has the home button and it's kind of a dated design. And obviously the 10R is going to look a lot cleaner, look a lot nicer, bigger display, better battery, much better battery life. Battery life on the SE is honestly not that great. But with offset logo, it doesn't match the boot screen logo, which is in the middle. Yeah, I don't even think that's why they did it. I think it was just because the camera module on the back of iPhones was getting so big. Can you imagine? Let me look real quick. Can you imagine if the Apple logo was still at the top? It would be awkwardly close to this camera bump, especially with the 13 Pro. Let me pull up a picture of that. iPhone 13 Pro is going to have the big camera module on the back, the same size as the 12 Pro Max one. Why doesn't someone have a good picture of it? I've seen it before. Well, that's kind of it, but yeah, no, you'd physically not have room for the logo if you were still putting the iPhone text on the back. That wouldn't work. Jeez. That's a Pro Max, I think, but yeah, camera module for the Max is not changing in size. I mean, it's getting better, but that's it. Yeah, I don't know. There's no room for the logo, to be honest. iPhone XR, Mac Mini, SE, and HomePod Mini is the easiest way to get into the ecosystem on a budget. If you've got a few more dollars to spare, grab the OG AirPods. Yeah, that's a good way to enter the ecosystem, I guess. It's just assuming they have hardware already. which, you know, I can do a lot of things if I assume you probably already have headphones. You don't need AirPods, you know. You probably already have a smart TV. You don't need. So if you start assuming additional hardware, it gets out of control quick. But instead of AirPods, you should get Beats. That's true. I guess you could integrate yourself into the ecosystem for even cheaper if you went with Beats X, which I've honestly heard good things about. People say the sound quality is decent, although you charge them with USB-C, which I like personally, but a Flex, I forgot. That's the term. These are $50, and they're technically, you know, they're not totally wireless, but there's no headphone jack, you know, they're still Bluetooth. And you can wear them like a necklace. Battery life's pretty good. And they still have the W1 chip, I believe, or the H1 chip. Yeah, it's W1. So you get that one-tap pairing method that you still get on AirPods, which is kind of cool. So I'll add that to the bag. That's like somewhat still in the ecosystem. iPhone 8 logo is a bit lower than the 7. Really? I never noticed that. There's another tier of Apple ecosystem besides SE, Air, and Pro, the certified refurbished tier. That would be a good one to experiment with as well. Let me see. AirPods kind of adding up to the price here. Get them AirPods out of there. Let's switch to Beats Flex. $12.69. Wow. Okay, this might be a good experiment. We got headphones, iPhone, iPad, and Apple Watch. That's a pretty solid base, assuming this person doesn't need a Mac for software-related reasons. We should just try to see if we can get this combo under $1,000 with certified refurbished. I know I was tempted, but I thought that was kind of cheating, but it's not really cheating. Come on. People have this. People have access to certified refurbished. They make it hard to find on the website, though. It's easier to find on the Apple Store app for some reason. Oh, wait. I got to remove everything from the bag first. Let me do that, actually. That way we start fresh. No, don't go to that page. Just go to the bag, please. Thank you. Let's see. Planning on upgrading the 9.7-inch to the 10.5-inch iPad Pro. I'm not sure whether it's promotion in the 2nd-gen iPad Pro, the same as what it is with 3rd-gen. What? I'm trying to understand you, Crit. I'm trying. The promotion is on the 2nd-generation iPad Pros. But yeah, it's the same. 3rd-gen iPad Pro is the one without the home button. They went in on Face ID. Okay, we're going to remove all these and see how low we can get this same combo. Samsung ecosystem honestly equals Apple ecosystem if you're not in America. Really? Just in terms of price? I'm sure there's cheaper options. I don't think the Samsung ecosystem has as many benefits of the devices working together. They probably have a couple things that they do collectively, but not as many as Apple's. Okay. Gonna do this again, but we'll see how much we can save with certified refurbished. All right. Start with the iPhone. How cheap can we get? Ooh, 8 Plus 509. That's pretty good. No refurbished 10Rs. You have to get 10S's or the 8 Plus. That's pretty good, but I think we want the more modern approach. I guess they have an 11 for $639. But yeah, I don't see any 10Rs. That's a shame. Unavailable. Darn. Well, that's more than an SE. Why would anyone get this? The iPhone 8 is like objectively worse than the SE, and this costs more than that. Oh, I guess it's 256 gig. That's what I missed. I guess if you just care about Touch ID and storage, why not get 11-inch iPad? 10.5 inch is kind of dated now. Well, I'm guessing they're on a budget, but Samsung doesn't do as well with connecting to a laptop or desktop. Started with 10Rs, my first iPhone, traded in for 12 mini, started with MacBook Pro 2011, then replaced it with M1 MacBook Mini. The Apple ecosystem is easier to get into, stay in if you do trade-in. Oh, I'm sure the trade-in's probably, you carry your value to the next thing much faster. I love how they have a picture of the jet black iPhone 7 Plus on the refurbished page, even though there's no iPhone 7s here. So I guess, looking at the refurbished options here, I actually wouldn't opt for this unless your budget is much higher. If you're willing to go with a 10S or you want an 11, I suppose, well, that's even a 256 gig, which I think is kind of unnecessary. I think for this situation, I would still go with the 10R new. I think I'll stick with that. But I'll do that last. I'll go back to refurbished. Okay. How much cheaper can we get an iPad? Whoa. Refurbished iPad 128 gig. 32 gig. Wait, which? 6th generation. So this is 2 years behind. Is this the A10? Yeah, it's the A10 chip. So that's getting kind of old. But it is freaking cheap. Jeez. Where can the most amount of money be saved by going refurbished? $300 for 6th generation. Yeah, honestly, I'm not as impressed with the lower end iPad refurbished options. Let's see. If you're really wanting to get into the ecosystem on cheap, buy all used. I'm currently using iPhone 8, Apple Watch 4, 2018 MacBook Air, 2017 iPad, and AirPods, and I'm quite happy. Yeah, well, I mean, that's a whole other process of hunting the internet for all kinds of deals you can do your best to find, that's for sure. It's a whole other process you can get into. I just wanted to see what it would be straight from Apple. I guess I'm less impressed with the budget options. These are really good value. I'm still surprised these haven't sold out yet because I would recommend this 1,000,000% over any iPad Air refurbished. Way better deal. I can't believe this thing is more expensive than these. This is so much better. That's an Air. That has 60 hertz, a home button, Touch ID, forehead and chin and all that, and Lightning. This has Apple Pencil 2 support. It has USB-C. It has 120 hertz. It has Face ID, and it's less money. It's just a quarter of the storage. That's the only difference. Huh. What about refurbished Apple Watches? They got some good ones? Ooh, that's actually pretty good. Well, I guess it's not that different. $280 for the Series 4. I guess you get the ECG, which the Apple Watch SE doesn't have. But other than that, it's pretty much the same. Peterman Valley, hey, thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate that. We got lots of new members today. Thank you. You get a brand new MacBook Air M1 for $750 at Best Buy right now. It's an insane deal. That is a good deal. I'd recommend that, as long as it's not open box. Certified refurbished MacBook Air, I think, is $850, if I remember correctly. Yeah, $850 for the M1. That's a good deal. You still get your full warranty and all that. There's a lot of mix matching you could do. MacBook Air is always going to bump the whole ecosystem over $1,000. There's just no way to avoid it. Let's see. I've never seen a Samsung laptop in Australia. Most people I know have Samsung phones, but don't see any benefit to Samsung's ecosystem. Yeah, I haven't seen a great argument for it either. They also have a 12-inch MacBook on this side of the website. Not open box, brand new. Yeah, that's a great deal. Well, I mean, it is getting old. It's almost a year old at this point, so I'd hope there'd be some sales. Definitely don't buy an M1 MacBook Air brand new. This late into the game, when it's been available for this long, try to find a sale on it, like the one Best Buy's having. That's much better. What about an ecosystem like only Pro models, while not just adding a 60K computer? Like, make it fair. Yeah, this was actually another test I was thinking of doing. Was like, what's a high end? We're not going to go crazy, okay? Because it could be really easy for me to just max out everything. Let's get cellular iPad with 2 terabytes of storage. Let's get the $50,000 Mac Pro and add everything together and see how much it would be. Let's just like high end Apple hardware. And how good of a deal could you get? So that might be an interesting experiment to just see like how nice of the tech products would be if you had a more reasonable budget, well over $3,000. Let's say if your Apple ecosystem budget was, it's probably going to be easier if I put a number to it. So let's put a number to it. I'll say $6,000. Is it simple enough? Let's just double it. Start with the iPhone as usual. And obviously we want to go big or go home. So in this case, we're going big. We'll get the Pro Max. I'm not going to max out storage and all that just because I think that kind of detrays from the get the high quality hardware. You may not get the most storage because if we go crazy with the tiers, then it's going to get way more expensive. But let's just see what the high end hardware would cost. We don't need the higher end configurations though. All right. Start with that. Got our iPhone. Next, we want a nice watch. You know what? We got a steel iPhone. I want a steel watch to go with it. Let me see if I can, specify that I want the steel one. I don't want the leather loop. That's what kind of annoys me about all these configurations. They give you the higher price watch bands by default. You have to go in to change it. Yeah, see? It won't let you select the, like, cheaper bands. Okay, 800, 800. This is kind of nice. We're not totally maxing it out. We're not getting Hermes or anything, but let me create a style. Ooh, pretty. Okay, I like the 44 millimeter size, so I'm going to keep that. We're going to keep the steel, but I don't need a crazy nice watch band. I think we can just live with a sport band. And anyone who can afford every pro Apple product probably has a luxury car. That's not true. I drive a very crappy car and I have every pro product, or I have had every pro product. But yeah, maybe a safe assumption. I don't think that correlates, actually. I think there's a lot of people that buy high-end Apple hardware that drive cars that aren't that fancy. Frugally expensive. There you go. That's a good term for it. I like this. I like that look. It's like a very simple band, but the pin kind of matches the silver steel. I like this one. $750. You're getting the sapphire glass display, so it's a little bit nicer. Of course, it's unavailable. You can still order it, though. We'll add that to bag. All right, now we want some headphones, but we want a little bit better than just basic AirPods. So I probably wouldn't push people to AirPods Max, but I do like the Pros. I'll choose that because you get the active noise cancellation, you get the wireless charging, still good battery life, that type of thing. What are we at? Dang, already we're at $2,300. That was quick. It's probably all on that steel watch, but you want it to last, right? You want that glass you want it to match the phone. That's what you want. If we get the Series 7, this will be a squared off chassis. It'll match the phone even better, but hopefully the price of the Apple Watch doesn't go up. My car is moderate, not luxury, but not super danky, but I'm a pro user 100%, says Peterman. I think I would describe my car as super danky. That's a good term for it. Okay, iPads. I don't want to get too crazy here. I guess you could argue, like, I want a good iPad. I don't need 2 terabytes of storage or 5G, but I do want mini LED. I do want center stage. I want that longevity with the M1 chip. So let's just go ahead with $1,100 iPad Pro. This one's like best of the best hardware. You're just going to be limited by the software. And maybe a keyboard. Yeah, that would eat into our Mac sales a bit. But yeah, I'll just say without the keyboard for now. But yeah, we're going to add the Apple Pencil too. We'll add that along with it. Okay. Apple Pencil 2 is pretty sweet. The Apple Pencil 1's a joke. Why do you never get Apple products in any other color than black or white? Well, there's only black or white on these. I don't know. I don't like the colors that are faded. I like saturated colors, and Apple's not very good at doing saturated colors as of late. My mom drives a luxury car, but has the most basic ecosystem. iPhone SE, iPad, and basic AirPods. Yeah, I think there's probably an interesting study to be done there. There's likely a lot of people that really care about their tech ecosystem and not much about their car, and also vice versa. People who really care about their car and not much about their ecosystem. So that's why I always kind of laughed and didn't really buy into that argument that, oh, the Apple car would do really well because clearly there's a lot of brand power with Apple, so there are people that will buy every shiny new thing Apple releases, so there would be a ton of people lining up to buy the Apple car. I was like, I do agree they have brand power, but I feel like there's a very big disconnect between people who buy expensive iPhones and expensive watches and Macs versus people who buy expensive cars. Like, there's probably a ton of people that are going to buy the Pro Max iPhone and spend $1,200 or $1,500 on Apple products next month. But how much of that demographic is going to spend $80,000 or $100,000 on an Apple car? I bet it would be pretty small. I bet it would not be much. Hey, it's Ryan from Discord. Hey, Nick WN, thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate that. A lot of members today. Thank you. You guys are being overly generous. Thank you. Would be cool if you could do another list with the cheapest things you would get from the Apple website. Yeah, Xavier likes technology. That's what we started the live stream with. We did the cheapest configuration at first. Okay, we got the iPad with the Apple Pencil. When it comes to the Mac, this is a tough one because we haven't had the Apple Silicon transition yet. I think just because more people buy laptops, I would lean towards the 16-inch just because of the battery life, the performance. You get all those 4 ports. Of course, I wouldn't recommend you buy this MacBook now because it's about to get refreshed, but I don't think the prices are going to be that different. Probably a decent base model. 512 gig SSD, that's pretty good. 16 gigs of RAM. Yeah, I mean, this covers the basics, I'd say. I guess people probably want me to up the tiers a little bit on this one. So I'd say maybe up this 2 terabyte. That pops this whole MacBook Pro to $3,000. That's likely the biggest piece of the puzzle. I spend all my savings for a car on analog watches, and I regret not. Good for you. Just buy what you like. That's what matters. Let's see. Apple Watch Pro. Yeah, they haven't done Pro on the watch, have they? Very rarely buy brand new products straight from Apple if they've been out for some times. Good to shop around. Only the iPhone I'd get brand new after a new drop. Yeah, I think more people are comfortable with buying a new iPhone every year because they know that they can sell it the following year and get most of their money back. Not all of it, but a pretty decent amount. Not the same thing with everything else. Yeah, we'll just like Marngel is saying, I'd hypothetically assume this is the M1X MacBook Pro, and we'll get a bit more storage. I'm not going to update the RAM or the CPU, but what are we at now? I think we've got a pretty decent ecosystem so far. High-end MacBook Pro, much bigger display than my iPad. Great speakers, studio quality mics. We've got a high dynamic range iPad Pro with USB-C and Face ID with a second-gen Apple Pencil. We've got AirPods Pro. Got a real nice watch, stainless steel with sapphire-infused glass. We got the best iPhone Apple has to offer. Wow, $7,000 already. That jumps up fast. I think the spectrum of Apple ecosystems is much wider than I originally thought, because when we were just trying to have a piece of every aspect of the ecosystem for cheap, we were having a pretty hard time staying under $3,000. I mean, assuming you have your own hardware, maybe you knock off the HomePod Mini and the Apple TV, that really only saves you like $200. It's not much. You're still looking at over $2,000 to have at least one type of Apple product in every category. But once you start maxing out things, we're like, yeah, let's get a real nice iPhone. Let's get a real nice watch. Let's get some good AirPods, good iPad, real nice Mac. Boom. You're almost up to $7,000 already. But don't worry, guys. We can pay monthly with Apple Card. It's actually only $424 a month. No big deal. Change that Intel Frisbee to an M1. Exactly. M1X would be better, but yeah. If there was an option to remove the touch bar for $300, I would totally do it. Yes, T. Parker Evans. Inversely, if it default did not come with a touch bar and you had to pay an extra $300 to add it on, I would pay the extra $300. I love the touch bar. I'd really enjoy seeing the Apple Car come into the automotive market. Even if they don't want to say they're competing with Tesla, Lucid, Mercedes, they can egg Samsung and Sony into the competition. Yeah, I'd love it too. I think they're too skittish. Tim Cook is too scared of the profit margins being too thin. They're too afraid, basically. It's Apple wimping out and deciding that services are more profitable. Crit says, I'm a student using 2 iPads for study. I bought a Pro 9.7-inch and got a Pro 11-inch later. After using the ProMotion, I started to not like any screen without ProMotion. Is the screen on a 10.5-inch and 11-inch the same? Well, other than the size, yes. The 10.5-inch Pro is 120 hertz. That's the one my wife still has. And the 11-inch is 120 hertz as well, as long as it's the Pro, not the Air. The Air is 10.9 inches, but it's 60 hertz. That's a lot of bread, Fred. Okay. So we've seen how if you just start mildly maxing out things, you can get pretty crazy. But since we've had a pretty fun stream so far, and I've got some time, I can keep going a little bit longer. Why don't we get stupid? All right? We're going to get crazy just for a minute here. Let's see if we max out every category in the ecosystem. And I'm not going to get too crazy with each category. I'm just saying Mac, iPad, iPhone. You know, I'm not saying like get a Pro iPad, get an Air, get a Mini, no. I'm just saying if we max out every category, how bad does it get? So let's just start with the obvious one, right? Let's just get this over with. Mac Pro, how high can this get? Drew, does Apple News Plus still suck? Yes, it does. I canceled it, and the notifications won't go away. I love getting Ryan's like, I love getting stupid. Let's get real stupid here. 28 cores of Intel Xeon with Turbo Boost up to 4.4 gigahertz, 1.5 terabytes of not storage of RAM, DDR4 ECC memory, 12 128 gig sticks. Yeah, screw it. 2 Radeon Pro Duos with 64 gigs of memory each. I'm always amazed by how crazy these GPU and RAM options are and the CPU options. 28 cores, 1.5 terabytes of RAM, 64 gig GPU. But then when you get to storage, it's like 8 terabytes. That doesn't sound as impressive. You know, you can get that in a MacBook, so it's like, yeah. Of course, we want the Afterburner card. Of course, we need the wheels. We're going to be rolling this thing around like crazy. We want the trackpad, and we don't need pre-installed software. That's okay. But we're getting all these accessories to be included instantly. Wait, where's the add to bag option? It just says continue. Oh, right. I'm going to need a monitor. I forgot. Yes, of course, we need nano texture glass. Why wouldn't we? And we need a Pro stand as well. It's funny that you can get the Pro stand and the adapter. Sure. We want the adapter too. Add that to bag. Oh, we're already at $60,000. Oh my God. Jay Gannon says, today I'm 1 year older and still rocking silver iPhone 10. Hey, Jay, happy birthday. He's 1 year older. Congratulations. All right. We need some headphones to go with this Mac. And we want the best of the best battery life. We want amazing transparency mode and active noise cancellation. And we want a bra to come with it, of course. So that's why we're getting AirPods Max. See? Are you happy, Alpha? I got the blue color this time. All right. AirPods Max. Of course, we're going to need... we're going to need the lightning to headphone jack cable. We got the blue headphones, but I would like some black cushions to go with it. I can't be too colorful. Yeah, we need a charged brick. Let's add that to the bag as well. All right. We've got our headphones. We've got our Mac. Now let's get the best possible iPad we can possibly fathom. All right. We want the best display, XDR. We want 2 terabytes of storage. We need 5G. I love that it says Wi-Fi plus cellular and not Wi-Fi plus 5G. They could have easily done that. Yeah, we're going to add an engraving. We're going to say, bruh, poop emoji, save, beautiful. We're going to add a keyboard. Of course, we want the white one because it's the newer one. We got to flex on everyone that we got the new iPad Pro. Otherwise, they wouldn't know. Apple Pencil 2, of course. We're up to... Wow. That still blows my mind. This combo cannot edit ProRes video, a codec Apple came up with, and yet you can spend $3,000. Okay. iPad Pro has been configured. Done. We added that to the bag. How about the watch? How bad can the watch get? I assume it's Hermes. Is Hermes the worst? We got 11 things on our bag already. Jeez. All right, $1,300. I want the best of the best Apple Watch. I want everyone to know what kind of watch I'm wearing. Those one are 13. This one's 1,500. Jeez. Someone business has definitely ordered more than one of them. Or one or more. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. 1,500. Can I create a more expensive style? Is that possible? Okay. Or a titanium. Open up, please. Oh, I guess when it's Hermes, it doesn't matter, huh? Add some 4K TV with that. Yeah, we'll get the 4K TV. I just need to find... Where's Edition? I guess it's embedded within Series 6. Let me create a style, see if I can go higher than 1,500. I feel like that's not as high as it... I remember the Apple Watch Gold days. Scroll to the end here. Here we go. $850. Wow. Edition's not what it used to be. Jeez. Titanium case with leather loop. Let me toy around with this. In all fairness, you aren't adding Apple care to these things, so when you drop them, stepping on your G5 into your Bentley. I guess I forgot Apple care. We'll have to round up at the end. Let's go titanium. How bad do the bands get? I want like a real nice band. Long live the 2 terabyte iPad Pro. I bought it basically because it was the only one and I was in the US for just 2 weeks vacation. Oh, big oof. Stainless steel, I assume, would be high. No? Still 1,000? Wow, I guess we got to go Hermes. All right. Let's find the Hermes then. Buy a real nice one. The best we can find. This is how expensive it gets? Doesn't even look that different. It's like silver steel with a buckle. And that's the most, when people think most expensive Apple Watch, I don't think this is what people imagine. You know? This is not my first thought. All right. Oh, I can't add it to my bag. Oh no. Dang it. They're sold out. Of course. Both of them sold out. $1,250. There was one up here that was $1,400. Is this one sold out? And this is only 40 millimeter? Oh, it's not available at all. Why is this even on the website? How come the most expensive Apple Watches aren't available? Who the heck is buying this? I mean, it looks kind of cool. It's kind of pointless. I had a double tour watch band a while back. It got old very quickly. What if Drew accidentally buys all this? Well, we got a live stream to prove it. That'll be fun. This one's $1,400. Is every Hermes sold out? Yes, I'm going to try to pronounce this incorrectly as many times as possible. They're all sold out. What the heck? I like this one. The red fabric looks kind of cool. I dig it. Oh, I'm sure Apple did not make many of them. Literally every Hermes is sold out. What about the 40 millimeter? Nope. My goodness. There's a bird flying around on my window. What's up, bud? I'm live streaming. Get off my Starlink. Okay, I'm pretty sure this whole page is pointless because every single one is going to be sold out. I'll check one more time. I kind of like the black and the blue stripes. One last attempt. And no, every Hermes Apple Watch. Okay, all right. I give up. I fold. I'll try to do a edition. I think that's going to be the most expensive. We scroll yeah, because the steel ones all tap out around 800 or 750. They don't go much higher than that, huh? Okay. This is Hermes. That doesn't count. Let's see if, or no, the titanium ones are sold out too, aren't they? We just discovered this. Yeah, you could buy a Tesla or a really nice watch. Come on. You can't wear a car all day. Are you? No, all the titanium ones are sold. Man, they are really prepared for the Series 7. I guess we got to go steel. I did not expect this to be a problem. Like, at all. I think even calling this a first world problem is an understatement. This is like 0th world problems. Drew is trying to max out his Apple Card, but he can't find the most expensive Apple Watch. Yay, we found one. Okay, $800 for a stainless steel with leather loop watch. I'm surprised that's the best they can do. Apple, I'm trying to give you my money. Also, it's not available for pickup. Sheesh. I found 2 Series 5 titanium Apple Watches on Amazon. Both were under $400 a piece. Both work great and have Apple Care Plus on them. I got super lucky. Reggie, that's awesome. Congratulations. That's a really good deal. I would want to get $400 a piece. That sounds dope. They're unavailable for reasons that totally have everything to do with demand and totally nothing to do with Series 7 in like 2 weeks. Correct, Ryan. I'm sure these are the best-selling watches. Everyone's buying the Hermes. Let's review our bag. Or no. Actually, not yet. We got to throw in our TV. We need the best of the best Apple TV. 4K, 64 gigs. I'm surprised it only goes to 64, actually. Add to bag. It's probably going to ask me. Oh, yeah, HomePod Mini. How could I forget? At least one. Yes, we need a Belkin Ultra HD HDMI cable. I'm sure you can buy this exact same cable for probably a quarter of the price on Amazon. But we're going to get it from Apple, obviously. All right, we got a watch. We got a HomePod. We got AirPods. We got iPhone. We got an iPad. We got a Mac. I think we've come to our hardware total. I'm sure. Guys, you know sheesh was a saying before TikTok? People are all acting like sheesh is a meme now. It's like, yeah, that was also just a saying. All right. Let's review. Let's see how this goes. $200. That's probably the cheapest thing in here. $200 for the Apple TV. $800 for the Apple Watch. $2,400 for the iPad Pro. $130 for the pencil. I guess that might be the cheapest. Magic Keyboard for the iPad, $350. AirPods Max, $550. Suddenly, $53,000 Mac Pro. Pro display with nano texture, $6,000. Pro stand, $1,000. Vase mount adapter. Lightning to audio jack, $35. I guess that's probably. Oh no, brick is cheapest. AirPods Max cushion, fast charger, HomePod Mini, $100. HDMI cable. Wow, $70,688. I don't know why I thought it would be more. I honestly was expecting it to be in six figures. I'm actually kind of shocked. Now I'm starting to think I can do this. Guys, I think we need to check out with Apple Pay. Why don't we check out with Apple Card monthly installments? It's only $5,400 a month. That's like five of my mortgages put together. It would only take how long? I like how it has the little asterisk for fine print, but there's no fine print. Oh, Apple Card monthly installments, 0% APR. Guys, I think we can afford this. Oh, I still have to pay $63,000 due today. But oh, I didn't max out the iPhone. I almost forgot. I totally blanked. I was so distracted by everything else. Well, this isn't going to get us into six figures, but let's get gold because we're rich. 1,400. One time. Really? It only maxes out at 14? I thought it would be more than that. Okay. So that brings our total. This is the real reason you paid off your house, to allow this purchase. Exactly. I think I got to go through with this. This whole live stream has been just a cover up for me to actually go full Apple sheep. $72,000 now with the iPhone added in. That's pretty good. Actually, not bad. So if you really, really want to max out your ecosystem, that's kind of your upper limit, I guess. But let's see, like, if we did all of this crap except the Mac Pro and the Pro Display, because very few people actually care about that. Move the Vesa stand. But we got the AirPods Max. We got the best iPad. We got the best Apple Watch. We got the best Apple TV. Got the best iPhone. That dropped by over 90%. Suddenly it's under $7,000 if you don't get everything else. That's amazing. Man, it really says a lot about how much revenue the Mac line generates. You could probably get accessories and Apple Care to hit 100K. I don't think the accessories would need that overpriced case. I think all with the accessories you might hit 80,000, but I don't think you would get to 100. Can you adjust the quantity really easily? Like, I want to see if I ask for maxed out Mac Pros. At this point, we've lost all sanity, and I just want to see. I wish there was a remove all button. That would be cool. It's because it's making this complicated. It would be really nice if I could just hit, like, get rid of everything. But at this point, I want to remove all logic and just see how high a number I can get the checkout page to be. Need all the dongles? There's really only like 4 or 5 dongles, to be honest with you. They're all going to be like $50 a piece. So I don't think there's a way with one quantity to get things over 100,000. That'd be a good challenge. If you guys are bored and you want me to like your tweet without increasing the quantity of anything on Apple's website, okay, that's cheating, and that's what I'm about to do because I like to cheat. With just getting one of every type of category. Don't say like, well, just buy 2 Mac Pros. Like, only buy one of everything. Can you get your Apple Store checkout to be over 100 grand. Well, I guess you could max out the 27-inch iMac pretty quickly. You could max out a couple Macs. How about like only one Mac? You can only, like, if you choose high-end Mac Pro, that's it. You can't add in any other MacBook Pros or Airs or anything like that. Get 16 AirTags. That works. Maxed out MacBook. Yeah, I guess with like 2 or 3 Macs, you could probably get over 100 grand. This has the rack. We need to max it out with the rack, of course, because we're going to be buying lots of these, obviously, for my server farm. I need to compete with Tesla Dojo. So I'm going to be maxing out these Mac Pros and ordering a bunch of them. Afterburner. All right. Continue. Magsafe Charger. I don't think that's going to help you. All of these Magsafe things are like $100, $40 here and there. That's not going to jump you over 100 grand. Well, I have never maxed out my 2019 Mac Pro or iPad Pro or MacBook M1. Apple does allow monthly payments on Apple Card, but they put a hold on the total amount once you click on buy. Oh, wow. That's quite a bit. Yeah, we'll add these in. Well, I guess it won't matter because I'm just going to up the quantity, huh? I'll just say no thanks. All right. Let's review the bag. Does buying every configuration of the iPhones and iPads and Macs count? I'll say every configuration of iPads and iPhones, but only one Mac. That's the one exception. You can only pick one Mac and then buy one product of everything else. Can you get it over 100 grand? How high does this go? Oh, that's it? 10 plus? Oh, good. It lets me adjust it. Oh! Holy crap. That's it. They max out at 3 characters. What if I... Whew! Oh my God. Get daily cash with Apple Card. What would the cash back be? So you can't go over 3 figures. So I think that's about as high as it'll get. All right. 1,000. I wonder if that many have sold ever. Let me max out something else. I want to see how high we can get this number. This is going to be fun. Does it have to be from the US Apple website? Yeah. Sure. I'm going to accidentally hit checkout here. That would be hilarious. All right. I'm just going to be in massive debt, but it'll be worth it. I did a live stream where I made a couple bucks. So, actually, this is not as expensive as I thought. The iMac doesn't go over 9 grand? What? Why not? This is an iMac. There's not even an iMac Pro anymore. What the heck? Okay, most affordable ecosystem we can possibly find. Okay, just $8.7 million. Our total will be $67 million? I thought it would be higher. I guess it's not that much, huh? In the grand scheme of things, this was $52.8 million. XDR display, that's just going to duplicate this again. We need something bigger. How big can the MacBook Pro get? It's another fun game we're going to play. How big? That's another challenge I think we could have in the community. How high of a total can you get in the Apple Store checkout? I'm sure if people with a lot of time can just go to every option and add it over and over. Can you add it like again? Man, this maxes out at 6,700. I didn't know that. I thought it went much higher. Maybe I should go to the Pro Display. Okay, review bag. We'll max this out. 10 plus. 999. Ooh. What? No, that's not right. 6.6 million. 74. I was hoping to get to 1 billion. I don't think you can, though. 74 million. What's that with daily cash? I'm curious. Let's see what this does. Oh, I can show it here. Never mind. If I get 3% back on 74,611,000 47 cents. You got to be accurate here. We're going to times that by 0.03. I did something wrong. I think I hit the wrong button. That can't be right. 74, 611, 9547. Okay, times 0.03. No, that's it. So you get $2.2 million in cash back? Holy crap. That is a freaking massive return. I know that the Apple Card does not go that high at all, but let's make some revenue here. That's my goal. By the end of the stream, I want to get over 100 million. Would you rather have a Core i3 iMac or a Core i9 Windows laptop? Probably i3 iMac. I just wouldn't use it for editing. I'll just use it as a computer. I do not want the Windows in my life. This would make for a great headline. It's probably not possible to go iPod Touch. That's what we need. Max that out. I need a maxed out iPod Touch. All right. That added only 6 million. Darn. Okay, we're at 81 million. That's pretty good. No, the iPads aren't going to be much. What would be big? I need something expensive. I would only max out at $2,000, $3,000. 24-inch iMac? No. I guess the iPads would be the next step, huh? So you can't just like add a Mac again, right? Oh, add Mac accessories. Oh, I see what you're saying. Do they have the jellyfish server thing? No, for the Mac, Apple. Okay. Mac Essentials. Here we go. Mac components. Storage. What would it be? It's just a bunch of external drives. Does the price go? Ooh, here we go. 3,000. The Pegasus RAID. That's still not that high. We gotta jump higher than this. Jeez, I didn't know Apple sells this crap. They're still selling the USB super drive? Since when? 2,800. That's pretty good. 8 terabyte SSD kit. I'll just grab it while we're at it. Get the server rack Mac Pro. I did. I selected that at the beginning. We want so much storage. We're gonna clean them out. Man, that doesn't even add 3 million. I want to get it to 100. What's the most you can sort high to low? I love that that's an option. Someone was shopping for Mac accessories, and they were like, show me what the most expensive thing you have is, and then we'll work our way down. Displays and mounts, I'm guessing What about components? High to low. Who is sorting by high to low, unironically? Ooh, 6,000. Good. Radeon Pro. That's a better jump. We need everyone we can get. That gives us... What? I didn't update. That's not right. Come on. Yeah, another 6 million. Ooh, we're close. We're at 90. Okay. Can we do it? I think I saw another Mac component. Mac components. Apple wheels are only $700. That's like, if you max it out at $999, it's not going to add that much. We're just trying to get the checkout page. I want to see if it actually will display over 100. Okay, this was the other one. We got a lot of good ones here. Okay, this is another $6,000. Yeah, that's as high as it goes. All right. Go to iTunes and buy every song. There you go. That might work. Okay. Almost 6 million. Ooh, we're so close. We're so close. Okay, we can do this before the stream ends. I got a hard stop at 11. We can do this. The Mac Mini is not going to add that much. You can only add 999 of something. It's not going to be as fast as the Mac components. Okay. The World Bank is jealous. Can we do it? All right, 5,000. I think this will do it. I think this will push us over. Add to bag. Radeon Pro Duo MPX module. This is some quality content right here. Okay. Yes, 5 million. Yes, we did it. Okay, we broke 100 million. Good luck trying to get that to 1 billion. Get daily cash with Apple Cards. So, it's only going to cost us, I love that they still put the numbers here as if the Apple Card will even let you hold a charge that much. 27-inch iMac wouldn't do much. So only $28 million due today, but it would be $6.1 million a month. Can you add the Mac Pro, but the one with wheels, since you choose the rack? The wheels would cost less. The rack adds more to the overall cost, so the number would just be lower. But I don't have anything special here. You guys can do all this yourselves at home. I want to see you guys getting the numbers up higher than this. This is the number to beat. 9 pops a month. Yeah, you can just buy every song on iTunes with Apple Music for $9 a month. That's true. It's very easy. Anyway, this was very stupid, but I liked seeing how high we can get these numbers to go. I want to see the cash back on this. How much money will I get back? 806, 839 times 0.03. Wow, you get $3 million back in cash. So technically, this isn't even over 100 million. Ridiculous. Absurd completely. Can't believe it. We cannot get over 100 million. It sucks. Anyway, thank you all for joining me during this stupid journey. More videos to come, obviously. But thank you for the super chats and all our new members today. And that will hopefully help me afford to check out everything. Let's buy it. All right. Let's go to the checkout process. We'll hit the Apple Pay button. I'll just do that off camera because I don't want to dox myself. But I'm totally buying everything. I would love to just see if someone ordered that many, what would the shipment look like? You know, just like 1 million packages on your doorstep, all these boxes of Mac Pros. Or would Tim Cook himself, if you placed order on this, would Tim Cook himself come out and be like, what? What did you just do? My goodness. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Have an excellent rest of your day. Bye-bye.